What's up, everybody? Welcome to Anime on Draft, episode 180. My Little PogChamps. Or no, that's not what it's called. Santa's Little PogChamps.
My Little PogChamps.
All I want for Christmas
are you a brony?
Some Little PogChamps.
My Little PogChamps.
I'm your host this week, Rolando, joined by my Little PogChamps, Mark, Beautiful. Alec, and Drew, the Mad Lads.
Beautiful.
So, this week we've got
Poggers, dude.
our Orishiri for Kimi Todoke episodes 9 and 10, as well as some winter beers that we'll introduce in a second. And then we'll be going over some of the fall shows, including the premiere of Attack on Titan season 4.
Four.
It's really hard.
Final
to
season
because they like split
Final season.
like the last season in half. So I was like, is this 5 or 6 or? But it's season
final
4.
season.
The final season. Yeah, I'm just gonna call it that now. Attack on
Final
Titan,
season.
the final season. And then we've got some news later. Keep your hands off Eizouken. Got a special award, so that's something to look forward to. But
Deserves it.
Easy breezy.
Does it?
if you're listening to us here, audio only, we are streaming every week on twitch.tv/animeondraft, and you can see what beers we've got. This week we have 3. So first of which, I have the Lost Abbey Noël de Abbey. It's a winter brown ale. Mark, what do you got there?
We got the Facilitator Doppelbock by Tembler Brewing Company.
And Alec?
It's the Breckenridge Brewery Christmas Ale. Fine Colorado Ales. That's what it also says on the bottom.
Well,
Had to include that.
what styles are
It's like
your
a
guys'
superhero.
I got another Doppelbock.
Doppelbock?
I believe it's just a strong ale. It says malty, full-bodied winter warmer.
Winter warmer. So like how much, or what's the percentage?
7.1.
7.1? Okay, this one's 8.
Decent.
Mine's 10.
Mark's
gonna be a mad lad.
Mark's the leader tonight.
Double
drinking,
Doppel.
Lock.
You're not hosting.
Double
lit.
boy. All right.
Doppel boy.
Well, while we get
Doppelbocker
into
boil.
these beers, why don't we jump into our Orishiri? Kimi ni Todoke episodes 9 and 10. So, Alec and I actually watched these 2 episodes together, and we're kind of discussing, like some things. So there were a few questions that we were talking about while we were watching that I want to ask all of you. But we've got the new girl, Kurumizawa. So what do you guys think of her?
It ended up being what we thought, which, you know, we need a rival character, and that's what we got. I think everybody kind of saw it going that way. She's clearly annoying Kazuhaya, and like the other girls, like Chizu and them, they're like jealous, and as always, Sawako's just like totally oblivious of everything that's kind of going on. He's just like, I like your hair. You're so nice. I wish I was cute like you. And everybody else is like, this bitch be scheming. But yeah, I mean, we talked about this before. We need this type of character to give us a little bit of conflict, because we can't just have like flowers and rainbows and happiness all the time. We got to have a little bit of drama going on, and I think this character provides it. I kind of agree with the characters in the show. She's like very annoying, manipulative, scheming. And we can talk about this more maybe after some other people talk about her, but my issue lately with the show, and by no means is it bad or anything, but I find it that Sawako's character has been like, she's not annoying, but she's like, you want her to have maybe a little bit more development than she has, whereas instead she sees Kazuhaya and like she freezes up and just like can't talk, and they like stare at each other for like 15 seconds. I'm like kind of over those scenes. I'm like, all right, let's move past it, but maybe we can talk about that a little bit later.
All right. Mark, Alec, what do you think?
I mean, yeah, Drew kind of said it, and I'm pretty much in line with that. Like, I find her, Kurumizawa, I find her kind of she's like scheming. That's kind of what I expected her to be. It seemed too easy to convenient that she like wanted to be friends and like so friendly with Sawako. But it's like, yeah, it's kind of like what we had mentioned or kind of said before. It's like she's like playing the nice girl but also like doing some stuff behind the scenes. So yeah, it's kind of expected. And yeah, I feel like I sort of agree with Drew. Like I'm like slightly getting not really tired, but just like I want them to like advance a little bit quicker than like the romance has been. But I get it. Like doesn't have much confidence in herself, so she's not quite aware of her own feelings. I just wish she had more awareness of like others and herself. Yeah.
You wish she'd grow as a character more quickly?
I mean, a little bit. A little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I think I agree because one of the best scenes for me between those two characters in these two episodes was the one by the flower patch or whatever, where it was kind of like this, just them conversing, and he was like, "You smiled again," and she's like, "Wow, he's thinking the same thing as me," and it was still kind of awkward, like they got all uncomfortable, but they were just like talking to each other, and so that was cool. But Kurumi is exactly what I thought she'd be, just scheming, conniving. No doubt in my mind, I never thought she'd be nice for reals.
Yeah.
So you're saying
She's such a nice girl.
that they're what we thought they were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They were who we thought
They were who we thought they were.
Were who
Playoffs.
we thought they were. Playoffs. Don't talk about playoffs.
To lead off of that, so this character kind of breaks the mold, and like we've seen Sawako kind of on her own make friends, but this character kind of walks up and says, "I'm your friend." Mm-hmm. So that's already like way different from the previous formula.
It's also really weird. I talked to you once.
Yeah,
Friends.
that's the part of the weird part, is that she does that, and then you've got every time she shows up in, was it episode 8, the music just stops.
The music, yeah, that's
it was like
that's like right in your face.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey, this is this sort of subtle, or I guess not subtle, but
Not
it's
so
a
subtle,
subconscious way of getting you to recognize that something's wrong with this character. Not like there's something wrong with her, but like something about her is off, and it's sort of breaking up the norm, right? And I think with how things are going, Alec and I were actually talking about this while we were watching, but we both had a theory. Alec's theory ended up being right in a way that was for the middle school group of girls, which was what was it you were thinking?
It was that Kurumizawa was gonna help Sawako. She was gonna be like, "Oh, let me help you get with what's his name," and then fuck it up for her so that he doesn't want to be with, or like try to get him not to accept her or whatever. And then yours was kind of the flip, opposite.
Mine was that she was gonna ask Sawako to help her get with Kazehaya, which is what she ends up doing at the end of episode 9. So I guess, how do you guys think this whole situation is going to play out?
It's sneaky, man. It's super underhanded. Like, because she knows that there's something going on, whether Sawako is aware of it or not, but she knows that like they're together a lot. They are always kind of like cutesy and like uncomfortable, nervous / like flirty. It's like you kind of really don't know. It's just like you know that something's going on, and yeah, it's like very underhanded / conniving. But I mean, all is fair in love and war, right? So I mean, like I know it's like it's kind of it's conniving, like I said, but I mean, she's also sort of taking advantage of somebody. So I don't know. I have kind of mixed feelings, but anyway, like, yeah, I feel like it's obvious it's going to backfire on her. Like, this isn't the way to go about it because of who Sawako is. I think she's like, severely, what's
Oblivious.
the word? She's like, she's not taking her like seriously. I think that Sawako is going to, be at least like stick up for herself in some way, or notice something's going on. But yeah, so I don't think this is gonna work out in any
Well,
way.
I think Kazuhaya is like game to it too. Like I forget, he says something in the episode 10, I believe it is. It's just like I know like there's something going on. And so I don't know. I feel like he's kind of key to it. Like all these people like in middle school were like trying to play these games with him. It's like, oh, you know, let's get him alone so we can talk to him. And then just like rejection after rejection sort of deal. It's not how it works, right? You can't just like force someone to like you. It has to be natural. And the romance that's budding between Sawako and him is like, it feels natural, whereas everything else feels like people trying to force themselves on him, and it's never gonna work, right?
Mm-hmm. It's kind of like Kurumi thinks that because she's known him longer that she's got this dibs on him.
It's her right.
It's her right.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, he doesn't see you that way. So it's just kind of funny. It's like, I was actually going to ask if you didn't bring it up, Drew, that like, what do you guys think Kazuhaya would play into it? Because obviously she can try and convince Sawako to help her, but if Kazuhaya isn't willing to go out with her or with Kurumi, then it doesn't even matter. Like he has a say. It's like a two-way street, right? It's not like one person decides, hey, we're going out.
As much as that's what she wants, it's not
Some
gonna
people
happen.
decide that sometimes, and it doesn't work out well for them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm dating this person. You are? Oh,
We're together?
No, it's weird because I just asked them and they said no. That's good.
yeah. They said their Facebook page says single.
So
We all know that's end all.
Mine.
What do you guys think Chizuru and Ayane are gonna, like, what role will they play in this arc? Because you can already see through these two episodes that they know something's off with this girl.
Oh yeah.
They're gonna be the White Knights, right? They're gonna protect their girl.
I kind of hope not, but yeah.
I'm kind of hoping they don't. Yeah.
I hope they at least, if anything, I think they'll talk to Kazuhaya about it. They'll probably say like, ask maybe about Kurumi and Sawako's relationship, and like probably bring up like the true like friendship, but like if they are actually friends. And then if anything, that's probably what's going to lead into Kazuhaya talking to Sawako, and then that's probably where they're going to butt heads.
I agree. My previous arc where
I don't think
butt in.
Yeah, I don't think they're gonna like step in and like actively do something, but they're gonna like advise her, be like, hey, you know, this person is acting this way. We think it's like this. I don't know if you agree or not, but this is our opinion on it, and do with it as you will, sort of deal.
I could kind of see them like trying to get her to understand her feelings better for Kazuhaya, to try and like see past potentially whatever Kurumi, whatever her fucking name is doing, so she can be like, oh, I like him too, and I shouldn't just be blindly helping her, because this goes against my own kind of interests. I would hope they have that sort of role.
I think that they're kind of pushing it towards that, right? Because they're doing like the friend thing where they like tease the two of them, be like, oh, say her first name, you know, like that whole thing. And I think it's gonna like, Sawako has to like realize like those are like what these like all these things like where I can't talk to him and like, you know, my heart's beating out of my chest sort of deal. She has to realize that is like actual love, and then I think once she makes that connection, it'll like, you know, their relationship will progress. But I think they're like trying to push it in that direction, but also trying to like stay off as much as possible, because they're like, these are two people, they need to make decisions for themselves.
Yeah, I think
figure it out on her own.
I think you're bringing up a good point there, Drew, because they've been giving these hints that she realizes that there's something not wrong, but like there's something different about her interactions with Kazuhaya, and she's starting to slowly realize that he looks, or not he, well, I guess he does look at her differently, but she looks at him differently. Yeah. And I think another important thing that happens in these two episodes is like in episode 10, Kazuhaya's like, God, like why do I always get interrupted when I'm talking to Sawako? And it's always Kurumi that's interrupting. And And so
That's why he's getting pissed. He's
Yeah.
like, I know you're up to something. Like, stop.
so like that's really not helping her case
Yeah.
in that end.
And she doesn't get that, which is funny because it's like it's so obvious to us and to him as well. The person that you're vying your feelings for, you probably don't want to piss them off,
Yeah.
but you're doing that.
And she's so tunnel
Totally.
vision.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
Yeah. All
She's
right.
trying to play that like super advanced chess, but she's also like shooting herself in the foot at the same time.
She's also in high school and like doesn't understand how like
And doesn't
like,
understand
things
chess.
work.
Doesn't
She
understand
thinks
chess.
she's playing 2D chess, but she's playing 3D
Yeah,
chess.
she's not Busto. No Busto.
She thinks she's in the Queen's Gambit, but she's not addicted to drugs or
That we know
Yes.
of.
Yeah.
She might get driven to that, right?
Yeah. Who
I
knows?
really just hope we don't end up with some bullshit where it's like Sawako's like, no, yeah, you should be with her, and he's like, okay, and then she's like, oh my god, I
That's
like
not
you.
gonna happen.
That was
There's
just
no way
feels
that
so
would happen.
cheesy.
Kaze
No,
has
but I'm
too
just-
strong of a personality.
I really hope not, because
Yeah,
I would
there's
hate
no
this
way.
show and stop watching.
I mean, the series is what? It's 24 episodes. Never know.
There's enough
No,
time. That's why
I don't
I'm
think so.
worried. I don't want
think
it.
It's gonna happen.
No, it's highly unlikely, but I've seen weirder twists before.
All right.
Like the boat.
You have a good point.
Um, so
School days.
I guess for a final question
Scarred me
in
for
relation
life.
to these 2 episodes. So I asked Alec this while we were watching, but
you
what do you
didn't.
guys? Yeah, I did.
I don't even know what you asked me.
So what do you guys? Do you think the story would either like unfold or like happen in the same way if Sawako wasn't like a cute character? So like if she wasn't like
She was ugly.
not necessarily
What do you-
ugly,
it's
but
like, what
like
do you mean?
maybe if she wasn't like by appearances like look cute, like do you think Kazuhaya and like the other characters would treat her the same way, or even the audience, like us as viewers? What do you guys think?
I think
That's a really
Kazuhaya
good
would treat
question.
her the same. I mean, like, I know she isn't the kind of best source of information, but from what Kurumizawa says about him, where it's like he treats everyone the same no matter what.
Yeah.
And she is using that to try and tell her, like, oh, you're not special to him or whatever. But it kind of legitimately is true. It seems like he really does treat everyone the same. So I think no matter what she looked like, if she was kind of this loner character or whatever, he would treat her the same. He was kind of entranced by that smile before, but I think his like nature of wanting to help people get along with everyone would have shown through.
Yeah, that is a good question. I think it's sort of like this like ugly duckling theory. Like, yeah, I think that Kazuhaya would sort of still maybe like try to look out for her. But I think the romantic side of it and maybe like our attachment may not be as strong because that's like one of Sawako's charms is like she's this very unassuming character, but she's also like she's like cute and like, you just kind of want to protect her. If she was just like, yeah, she's like this plain girl that is, sort of being misunderstood, it would just sort of be like, all right, well, like, yeah, that's kind of sad, but
Oh, well.
life goes on. No, I'm just
out.
kidding. but maybe like the romantic aspect of this show may not be the same. At least I don't know. I don't know. I'm not saying that like I don't know. I'm
You're
completely
entitled
wrong.
to your
I think
opinion.
I think it's like the ugly duckling thing. It's where it's just like this unassuming character like will grow into something beautiful as long as you give them a chance, sort of a thing.
Always befriend the ugly girl in high school. You don't know if she'll get hot in college.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
That's what Mark would have said.
What a take.
That's kind of what I did just say. And I didn't mean that at all. I didn't mean that at all. But I meant to say, like, I think it's just the fact that, yeah, I think the fact that, like, she is, like, cute and unassuming, I think that leads into to why we are not only, like, attracted, but why we are so drawn to her, because she is this cute character and she has these ugly duckling attributes. I don't know.
I think it would be a different show if the main character like wasn't physically attracted to her, because like we wouldn't have the romance at all. So I think it's like a hard question because we wouldn't have the show if he didn't find her attractive in some way. I think Ryu kind of says it best a couple episodes ago, where he's like, I have my type, and that seems like what Kazahaya sees in Sawako. So it's like, it's hard to say, because like I don't think we would have the show if he wasn't attracted to her, but would he still like treat her like fairly? I think so. It's like what you said, he talks to everybody, and he's like this social butterfly that wants the best for everybody, and wants to like bring out the best in his friends and things like that. So I just think we wouldn't have a romantic aspect, and it then wouldn't be as good of a show. So I think you need the romance for this type of show, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just slice of life of about an awkward girl
high school
learning to make friends in high school.
Might as well watch Toribochi.
Oh God, no. So I guess like kind of the reason why I thought about that question was, I was watching for some reason like the opening song like on YouTube, but like someone had cut it to like the live action version of Kimi ni Todoke.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I was
It's a
like,
movie, right?
I think it's a movie, yeah. And like the funny thing, if you compare the live action to the anime, like I'm only talking about based off of clips in this video, this like AMV, and it's just so weird that I feel like protective, like you were saying, Mark, of Sawako in the show, because like the way like the animation medium can work is like the characters can be like drawn very like cute and like make you want to like feel for them, whereas in the clips I saw of the live action, the character just had like the fucking like she had like RBF. And so
you're like, I don't really want to approach you.
I'm just like, so that's how they're going for it. Okay,
Scary.
she had like RBF, and then like like the smile thing, like Sawako's smile, like in the anime, like they make it very impactful. But like when she smiles, it's kind of like awkward and creepy in the clips I saw of the live action. So it was like,
She's like, I need to watch this.
like it's just like the not just like the difference between like the mediums, but I think that difference between the mediums kind of accentuates the like the appearances thing, because like humans are pretty they're pretty like they prejudice based off of appearances like fairly quickly. Like that's one of the first things.
Well, and the more normal you look, that's like like the most normal person is like the most attractive person, and like if you have abnormalities, like people are like quick to like point that out or to see that, and you see that in children. Children will like are brutal. They'll just like point out that stuff like right.
Your eyeball's crooked.
Yeah. Well, it's also like expressive, like expressions too. It's like you get a lot from somebody who can be very expressive. And when you have this like sort of deadpan or like RBF type of character, you're just like slightly put off, because it's like, all right, I'm getting nothing out of this person. So
It's like talking to a brick wall.
Yeah. Yeah. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think that about wraps up our discussion on Kimi ni Todoke episodes 9 and 10. We'll be watching 11 and 12 next week. So join us, catch up if you want to be part of the discussion.
It's worth it.
It is. Next up, we've got our beer reviews. So we've got 3 different beers. Well, time to marinate with these. So who wants to start? Who has drank the most of their beer so far?
I'm like maybe almost halfway.
Alec is winning.
Alec is
winning.
I am winning. Am I going first then?
Hit us. Have you been
All
writing
right.
in your book this time? This whole
No, I
with your
forgot
best shot.
to pull it out. I actually don't know where I put it now that I'm thinking about it.
It's
I
gone.
think it's
No
back
book?
there. No, it's in the bookshelf, I think, but not today. No.
No book,
So-
no rating. Can't even,
All right,
can't even
can't
accept your review.
Bye,
Just
guys.
kidding.
It's good. It's trash. So I have the Breckenridge Brewery Christmas Ale. When I Googled it earlier, because I was trying to find out what style, they said it was a strong ale, but it just calls it a winter warmer. This one is a lot more like what I expected from a winter warmer than The one we had the other day, Mark. Which one was that? Do you remember? The one we had a couple, like last week. It was not spicy or anything. This one is. Was it the box?
2 weeks ago. You guys had the box
ago.
the last week, yeah.
Yeah, the one 2 weeks ago, whatever that was. But
yes,
this one's a lot more like a winter
ale.
warmer. Scotch ale, yeah. It's like very heavy molasses, malt, bready flavors and smells. And the color really like kind of has that winter warmer feel. And then that's really all there is to it. It's pretty simple. There's a slight kind of bitterness at the very end that I'm assuming is from hops. And it's really basic. It's enjoyable. It's pretty high alcohol content, I think, for how light it feels, because it's very light on the palate and low carbonation. So it really feels just kind of like drinking water. But it's very good. And I would definitely drink more of these if I had more, but I do not.
It's really interesting, your description there, because it actually is a little close to the beer that I have. So,
which one do you have again?
I have the Lost Abbey, Noel d'Abbey Holiday Brown Ale.
Okay.
So, like, it does taste like a brown ale, but like slightly spiced. But it's got that quality of a brown ale. That is kind of like you were saying about your beer, Alec, where it's like you're drinking water. Because like it's very easy to drink, and even though this is an 8% beer, the finish of it is very like molassesy, like you were talking about, and a little bit of that spice, like a little bit of like maybe like cinnamon, some like cloves. It's
winter spices.
It's those like winter spices, and
cardamom pods.
Like I keep finding myself like drinking it like quickly, even though like I haven't had as much as you had, but something about it is like it finishes it finishes like very like malt, like a very unassuming malt flavor, like roasted malt, and it's kind of like, what am I thinking? There's like, have you guys had those? I can't remember like the dessert. They're like, oh no. You guys know like Milano cookies? Mm-hmm. It's kind of like the aftertaste is kind of similar to a Milano cookie, but like with a little bit of like maybe like molasses on it. It's not as sweet, but it's very similar to like the profile of like a biscuit with some chocolate, and like a little bit of molasses, and that's just more the like aftertaste. Very mellow and unassuming.
Biscuit things.
Yeah. So it's not like in your face or anything, but it's just kind of there. Mm-hmm. And that's what this beer tastes like.
It sounds good. It sounds like a spicier version of mine. Like if they spice it up a little bit. Interesting. I'm gonna have to pick that up because that sounds actually really good.
Yeah, I love brown ales. I picked that up.
Well, Mark, speaking of loving the ales, what about yours?
Love the ales. Man, this is like entirely different than the Doppelbock I had last week. This is just a whole lot of cinnamon, a whole lot of nutmeg, some spices, and malt. Like the first sip I took, I was like, this is like drinking a gingerbread house. Like it would just hit me with cinnamon. It's kind of mellowed out a little bit, thankfully.
Smack in the face.
Because I'm not gonna lie, that first sip I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna get through this. Like it was just a lot of cinnamon.
10%,
yeah. But that's the crazy thing is like I've been drinking this like fairly quickly and actually like don't taste the alcohol in it a lot. Like it's very mellow. It's really easy to drink. I don't know if that's like quite a good thing, because it sort of seems like it can almost be flat, like just how easy it is to drink. I was expecting something a little bit richer almost. Maybe since there's so much cinnamon, I was expecting maybe like a more bready taste, which I think would probably balance this out a lot. But yeah, it's just like cinnamon, nutmeg, and malt. Like that's all I'm getting. But I mean, like I am drinking this pretty quickly, so I guess it's like it's tasty.
Acceptable.
Yeah, it's tasty for what it is, but it's lacking in like a lot of areas, and it's like I wish it was a little bit more. I wish it was heavier. I think that would be like a lot nicer if it was a little bit heavier and it had more substance to it. I think this would be way better.
It sounds like if it was actually boozier. it would be like
It's 10%. I'm like,
No,
I'm
like
kind of
the
starting to
flavor.
feel
No,
it
it means the
already.
flavor.
the flavor,
Flavor was boozy.
like boozier flavor. It would almost be like a spiced, like
I don't
cocktail
know.
instead.
I like as much as like as weird as it would be to like just have it like be breadier. Like I said, like if it had like a biscuity flavor, I feel like that would make this taste like really like oddly good. It would almost taste like gingerbread cookies instead of just like smelling like a gingerbread
Right.
house. Like,
And
is
then
he, like
not be-
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know if you guys have ever eaten a gingerbread house like that you like build and like put like a lot of icing on. Like you're
Yeah.
really not supposed to eat them because one, they also taste like shit because they just usually just been like sitting
They're
there.
stale gingerbread cookies.
Yeah, right.
And they're
So it's
they're
just-
baked. They're baked so that they have like structural integrity,
Yeah.
not
So-
Yeah.
not to taste.
Not for flavor.
Sometimes they bake it with like glue. So
Yeah. That's kind of what this tastes like in
Like
a sense,
glue.
where it's like, man, this is like, yeah, it's gingerbread-ish.
It's like horse hooves.
It's glue and alcohol. It's gingerbread-y. I want it to be like a gingerbread cookie, like
Right.
a little more solid. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, maybe a little bit more substance to it.
well,
But,
like
yeah,
you guys talked about what box, like the style of box last week. How much?
Yeah.
How much malt is in a bock?
I don't know.
I don't.
Alec, you did the homework. I didn't look.
I don't know where it is. I think there's a lot.
Because like
From
that
the
plays a
one
lot
I
into the
had-
flavor of the
Yeah, from the
biscuitiness.
one I had last week, that was a little bit heartier. Like you could
I think
tell
they're
that there's
supposed to be malty.
yeah, like you could tell there's a lot of malt. You could tell that it is sort of biscuity. Like it tasted, like bready and almost. This one not so much, and I think it might just be because it's a little bit thinner. And it just doesn't have that sort of like malty flavor. It's just, I don't know. All I'm
I wonder
getting
what
is
kind of
like-
malts
Yeah,
they
it's just
use.
a little odd. Yeah,
Maybe
it
they're
doesn't
just
say.
like weak malts.
No, it does not.
It doesn't say
Strong malt backbone.
Yeah, mine doesn't.
anything about mine. There's a nice little story about it that I'm not gonna read, but
Ooh, nice little story.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
I kind of was maybe expecting that from your beer because it's in a can, right?
I saw the can and immediately thought it's gonna be meh.
Like
Yeah.
Alex
That's
is in a
kinda why I
bottle.
didn't grab it at first.
Mine is from Lost Abbey, so of course it's in the
Always
big
in
bottle. And it's got that nice art. Look at those
The
gnomes.
gnomes, yeah.
Yeah.
The art on those bottles is always so cool.
Lost Abbey does a good job with that, yeah.
Yeah.
I picked one up today, actually.
Oh, what would you get?
You said Lost Abbey, and I was like,
Lost
I might
Abbey.
as well grab it. Lost Abbey. The something Madre. I don't know. It was a tequila. It's a sour aged in tequila barrels.
Oh.
And I was like, that sounds pretty.
That sounds interesting. I think
I'll Google it for you.
did
Agave
Lagunitas
Maria.
That's the one.
did Lagunitas also do like a? I think they also did like a tequila.
Keller has one.
McKellar Boulevard. I had one from Boulevard. They did one. Boulevard Brewing.
Lagunitas did a tequila barrel aged pills.
Oh, it was a pills. Okay. Well, tequila barrel age. So everyone's trying to move away from those bourbon barrels, but
Yeah.
Venture out into
I
the
think
world.
I actually do think that a sour would work well with a tequila barrel age.
Oh, for sure.
Because it would just be like a margarita. But who knows?
delicious.
Let's go into the ratings for these beers. So, Alec, what do you think? You had the Breckenridge
Breckenridge Christmas Ale.
Christmas ale.
Yeah, I really enjoyed this beer. I think I think it's just like their reoccurring Christmas ale. I didn't see anything about them doing different recipes each year, but I'll definitely buy it again. I think next time I'm at the store, I'm gonna pick up a 6-pack because I just got a single. So really good beer. I highly recommend it. The style is good and it's just easy drinking. So I'm gonna give it a 4. Yeah, 4.
Tasty.
Quattro.
Good solid beer.
Nice. Mark, what about yours? Yeah, I'm not expecting much from you.
Yeah, I'll give this like a 3.75. I think like for how easy it is to drink, I think that's definitely something. Like it's not
Says
bad.
something.
I want more out of it though. I want more.
If you're looking to get a good
Please,
buzz
sir.
quick off a 10%
Yeah.
beer,
Yeah,
There you go.
This is it. It's not quite the winter warmer that I would want, but at least it's warming me up, so it's good.
And
375.
yours was the what was it?
Facilitator.
Facilitator.
Tembler Brewing. They're from Bakersfield. I've never heard of them, but
I've never heard of them either.
Well, hopefully they can do a little bit more for you next time. And yeah, go ahead.
I mean, this is the first thing that I've seen from them. It was the only Tembler Brewing can that I saw there at the liquor store. So, who knows?
Who knows?
In the world.
In the world.
In the world, though.
In the world, though. As for me, I think Lost Abbey has really done another great beer. Can't really, I guess, be disappointed in any of their beers, at least in my opinion. They do a lot of styles that I enjoy, which are more of like the Belgian style ales. And like Alec knows that we're both fans of the Reverend. It's like a very
The
good.
Reverend.
Was it a quad or a triple?
I think it's a quad, right?
A quad. That's a very good beer if you are interested in any Lost Abbey ales. It's been a while actually since we've had one on the show, and I kind of just found this when I went to the store the other day, and when everyone else was at the store too, because they're afraid of whatever restrictions came out for the new not really a shutdown in California, but everyone's just stocking up on their alcohol. I saw a bunch of people grabbing a bunch of whiskey and vodka handles. It's kind of weird. It's just like, all right, well,
We're gonna make it through this winter.
yeah,
We'll get through this together.
We'll get through this
Jameson.
together. They say to their bottles.
just kind of a bunch of Jameson handles.
Me and my pal McAllen over here are gonna make it through the winter together.
Jack Daniels.
Me and my friend Johnny over here, Johnny Walker.
We're gonna just forget the entire winter.
Forget the whole pandemic.
We're gonna forget 2020 and go into 2021 fresh.
You're like, shit, what happened? It's like,
Nice.
dude, it's 2021. Like, oh, shit. But anyways, I think this beer is very good. It's excellent. I do kind of like that unassuming, like very, it's just like a nice little like cookie biscuit flavor that you get that's very unassuming in the finish, but it's got that brown ale quality that's like kind of like you're drinking water, like Alec was mentioning earlier. It's very nice. So I think I'll give it a 4.25.
Yahoo!
Solid beer.
Nice.
If you find it, I would highly recommend getting it.
So one thing, Tembler Brewing started in 2015, so they're pretty new.
Relatively new.
But they've had a couple like medals at some of the beer, medal shits. I forget the name.
GABF,
Festival
yeah.
things. Yeah, GABF. They have a blood orange Sky Belgian wit that won a couple, like 2 golds, a silver, a bronze. So
You got all of them.
stuff.
The whole
Yeah.
podium.
The whole podium over the past 5 years.
All right. So moving into our news break. First up, we have Anime News Network reporting that the New York Times have named Keep Your Hands Off Eizouken as one of 2020's best TV shows. So this list includes other critically acclaimed shows such as Better Call Saul and What We Do in the Shadows. So that's kind of interesting that the New York
praise.
Times has
Expected.
given
One of my favorite
Eizouken.
shows of the year. One of my favorite.
Yeah.
I'd say probably top 3 of the year. I love that show.
High
Dang,
praise.
your standards are so
Yeah.
low.
Okay.
Damn.
No, I was talking about Better Call Saul. The anime was great.
Right.
No, Eizouken was great, man. I loved
I'm
it.
just
I had a great time.
Easy
was
breezy.
Easy breezy.
Next up,
Beautiful. Banger
Cover
OP.
girl.
Gematsu report that Square Enix's PS4 port of the Japan-exclusive arcade rhythm game Love Live School Idol Festival After School Activity, will release worldwide on March 24th, 2021, titled Love Live School Idol Festival After School Activity, YY Home Meeting.
Oh, it gets even longer.
It's even longer. The global simultaneous release will be free to download for the base game, which includes 8 songs, 4 from Muse and 4 from Aqua, and 1 costume set. And then the costumes will be stuff that you can craft. Controversially, the free-to-play element of the game is 8 songs, and it looks like Square Enix is looking to make its money back by upselling you on songs, where it looks like due to or just from Japanese prices, the song packs are up total upwards of $350.
Oh,
What? That's cheap.
Well, I mean,
Free to play, by the way.
Square Enix did like discontinue support for the arcade version. Like their last update was in November, and probably due to the pandemic and low numbers at physical arcade locations in general, that's probably part of the reason. So looks like they're trying to make their money back with the home PS4 version of this game.
Can't fool me.
Yeah.
Can't trick me.
Can't trick Drew. ANN report
$350 later
that the Promised Neverland mangaka Shirai Kayu will be collaborating on the anime's scripts for the second season. The second season is slated to premiere on Fuji Television's Nodomina block on January 7th, 2021. It's coming up next season.
Nice.
Next up, ANN also report that Funimation will be streaming winter 2021 season anime Mushoku Tensei, Jobless Reincarnation on its streaming service. Funimation have just released a subtitled teaser for the anime. Link will be in chat. Can one of you guys please post that? I just lost the game. ANN report that SSSS Dynazenon will be premiering for the spring 2021 season during the show's stage presentation at Tokyo Comic Con's 2020 live event, online event, sorry. Studio Trigger has released a new animated teaser for that, which is the latest entry in the Gridman universe. If one of you can post that.
SS Gridman.
ANN report also that the Code Geass franchise will be receiving a new television anime and a smartphone game. The new anime will follow the ending of 2019's Code Geass Lush of the Resurrection anime film, which I kind of forgot released. That was in 2019.
Didn't even know it was a thing.
Yeah.
Next up, Tsuchihi's light novel Kyukyoku Shinka Shita Full Dive RPG ga Genjitsu Yorimo Kusoge
Is that the whole name?
Stop.
in English, meaning what if the ultimate in fully immersive VR RPGs was a crappier game than reality itself? Will premiere for the spring 2021 season. Also
playing the
premiering
game before reading the name.
in 2021 is Kadokawa's multimedia idol anime project, Selection Project. The project is labeled as a quote-unquote idol cross-audition cross-reality show. Of note, character designer will be Hirayama Akana, who did character designs for Rental Girlfriend's anime adaptation, and music will be produced by former Love Live music producer Kisara Yohei. A teaser has been released for the project, if you guys can please link that. And finally, in theatrical news, Shoujo Kageki Revue Starlight's new film will be premiering on May 21st, 2021. And the second Fate Grand Order film, Paladin Agatarum, is slated to release in Japanese theaters in spring 2021. That's the one that got delayed from this year.
Yeah. I watched the other one, the other Fate. Not Fate Grand Order, the Fate.
Stay Night.
Fate, Stay Night, yes, thank you. Yeah,
The
I watched that one
Huddersfield
that
one?
came out. Yeah.
Okay.
I watched that over the weekend. It was pretty good.
Which one? The first one
It's the first one, yeah.
of 3?
Yeah.
Because they're just doing trilogies for everything nowadays.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, it was pretty good.
I mean, they make so
Did
much money.
Evangelion come out again?
The final movie for Evangelion is going to actually be a trilogy.
It's soon. Oh, is it? Oh, they're splitting it up?
Yeah, it's going to be 3.
Damn it. Each with
Supposed to
20
be
years in
January.
between.
Yeah, 20 years in between.
We'll die before the third one comes out.
It's supposed to be in January, like January 4th or
On your
7th.
death
or
row.
Supposed to
something.
be.
Supposed
Do you
to.
have any regrets? I just wish I could have seen that fucking last movie.
I want to know how Anno ended Evangelion.
But they didn't say the year. They just said January 7th.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years from now.
But
This movie's gonna end. It's gonna be like to be continued, and everyone's gonna fucking lose their
everyone's
shit.
gonna lose their mind. You're like, oh my god.
It's like,
It just stops halfway
Just end
through.
it.
Just cuts.
Just cuts.
Oh my god.
Eva will return.
I actually wouldn't put it past.
No, I
them
wouldn't
to do
either.
that
I wouldn't either.
That's so meta, dude. They might as well just keep it going. Just keep the meme going.
I think that's when I just
man.
give up on it.
Yeah. You're just like, no more Evangelion for me.
That was the end of Evangelion.
See, that's the thing is like,
And that's the way the cookie crumbles.
see, the thing is for me, like I've seen Evangelion like 4 or 5 times, but just like the actual TV show and like the movies, but not the new movies. So like I've seen the
rebuilds.
first of the rebuilds back in like, when did that come out? 2008 or some shit like that.
A long time ago.
And that's the only one I saw, and I was like, maybe I'll just like wait to see the rest, because like the first one was like basically rehash of the original.
Yeah, it's the same.
And so once this finally comes out and like gets released on Blu-ray,
We need
or
to watch
whatever.
all. We need to watch all.
like
4.
I want to watch all of them, because like
Yeah.
I've heard from other people that it's different, and like
Very
they
good.
they do change a lot of things, and that Shinji isn't such a piece of shit character in the movies.
He's still
as
pretty
he
bad.
is. Compared to the anime. He's not as a
He's
piece of shit
better than in the anime,
but yeah.
Yeah, when it comes out, when it gets confirmed that it's coming out, we will watch the first 3. Maybe we'll do a Discord, do each movie each night, and then when it comes out, maybe we'll watch the 4th one, and then we can just all have our minds blown together, and then be disappointed when
It'll be
Be disappointed
disappointed.
together.
No matter
Yeah.
what.
Disappointed together.
It's like the
Support
hype.
group.
The hype is gonna be too great for like what's actually gonna happen, and I have no idea like what's gonna happen. I want to talk to you guys about like the 3rd movie, because the 3rd movie is like I've watched it like 7 or 8 times. I still have no idea what the fuck actually happened.
I wonder if Ano knows
Haven't
exactly
seen
what
any of
happened
them.
either.
He probably
doesn't.
doesn't. Him and Kojima and Ikuhara are all like smoking fucking
peyote out in the
space weed or something.
Oh,
That's how they came up with Death
Just
Stranding, dude.
imagine that.
Fun fact though, Ano and Ikuhara are like good buddies. And,
Yeah, they're good, but yeah, I've heard that
and,
too.
So anyway,
Yeah,
nice.
they're out in the deserts
Space
of
weed.
Japan.
Space weed,
Smoking
nice.
space
Desert
weed.
yes.
with,
You're hanging out with
Spike
Studio
and
Trigger.
Spike and Jet.
Studio
and-
Trigger, yeah. They
So,
got mushrooms from the dog.
That was our news break. Moving on into our happy hour. Our current airing shows for the fall 2020 season. First up, we've got Higurashi no Nakukoro ni Go. And this was the continuation of Satoko's backstory. So, what did you guys think about this episode?
I said it while I was watching it. Don't you fucking touch me.
It was like
That was the thing.
the ending was like kind of disturbing, right? Because it like comes out of nowhere, but it's like totally justified. But it like kind of comes out of nowhere, and everyone is just like looking at her, and we're like,
Like, what?
what do
Please
we do?
make it stop.
Like what is happening?
maybe so uncomfortable. It's because it's like you kind of know what's going on, but you don't want to know, and you don't want to think that what you think is going on is happening.
Yeah.
And it's like, God, like whenever shows deal with like child abuse, it's like it's very uncomfortable, and it's like you just don't know what to think or do, because you don't want to assume the worst. And this is like again going back to was it Brave New World or something, Shinsekai Yori, that we were talking about? Like, you just don't want to assume the worst, but kind of just have this inkling feeling that the worst
I mean,
worst
you
is like
assumed the
happening.
worst in
I mean, yeah, I
Shinsekai
did.
Yori.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah, your theory at the
Your
end there
theory
was
was
a little-
terrible.
Let's not go back. Let's not go back to that. I'm sorry I brought it up. But you know what I mean. It's just like you just don't want to think that what is happening, and it's like very sad that it is.
Well, you want to believe that like something like this like wouldn't happen in the world, but like sadly it does.
Right.
And it's it's uncomfortable, and it kind of should be, right? Like they're putting you in this position to like feel like how Keiichi would feel in that kind of situation, and I think they did a good job of it, honestly. It's just, disturbing, but the show is disturbing as well, so
Yeah, I think there's something
in the best possible way, I guess.
Yeah, it just seems like there's something more going on, which I guess is like sort of redeems the situation. Like since there's so many supernatural elements in this show, it seems like there's possibly something else that is happening. I mean, like with all the Oyashiro stuff, it's like he could be prepping her for some kind of fucking crazy thing. I don't know. It could be some kind of twist.
I stick with what I said last week. It's like it's too hard to kind of take it like one episode at a time for these particular arcs. It's just like you kind of need the full thing before you can kind of try to figure out what's happening, and then even then you're at least have no idea. So.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
It's tough.
What do you think?
It's disturbing. With what's like going on with it, I agree with Mark and Drew here. It's definitely uncomfortable, for sure. And I honestly don't really know what's happening. Like I think we all kind of have an idea of what may be happening, but like Drew said, it could be just something crazy. Like, who knows? Because the uncle was supposed to have run away or something.
Yeah, he ran away in a previous year.
And then he came back.
Because his wife died due to the curse.
Right.
And so he thought he was going to be next.
Who even knows what's going on with him?
Yeah, that's true.
The one thing that I did want to point out was my favorite character, the the detective. He seemed to be portrayed in this arc in a different light than the other ones. The other ones it seemed like he wanted to help. In this one, like they kind of portray him as like this like evil dude.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
Yeah, in the translation I had, they called him the god's familiar or something.
Yeah, like that's
the
pretty.
Other thing
that's pretty close to the actual Japanese.
Yeah, like the beginning of this arc, and I think like the beginning of the episodes always start off with like this sort of bad ending in a sense, where like Keiichi is like running after the uncle with a bat. I kind of thought that was an interesting little clip because it's like I don't know if that is something that could potentially happen or if that's something that has happened in like another timeline or something.
He's the deranged drug addict.
I always think that those clips where Keiichi's like just straight up murdering somebody is interesting because it's like I don't know if that has happened or if it will happen. So
good point there, Mark. Keep thinking about it.
Yeah, I know, I'm right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Keep thinking about it. I'm not going to tell you whether you're right or wrong.
It's a little mini reset.
I think kind of going off of that, though, what I've been thinking about is like eventually we will get to like a timeline where like it stables and it's going to be Keiichi versus everybody. And, these little like scenes, like what you were saying, Mark, is just like glimpses into that, him versus the world kind of mentality, trying to just escape this evil town. But we'll see.
Interesting theory.
But it's interesting.
Alec, do you have a theory for the show? How it's going so far?
No.
You just no idea.
No. I'm
versus
just
the hive
week
mind.
by week going, just like
You're just like, all right,
here we are.
Just come at me.
Yeah,
I'm here.
I'm loving it. Just send it. Give it to me. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. Even as as someone that has viewed the original anime series, although not like really playing the games, this episode still was like really disturbing to me at the end. I was like, fuck, this is just so fucked up. And like basically that whole breakdown from Satoko was like, ugh, like you don't want to see that kind of stuff happening.
Yeah,
it's just like very disturbing. Yeah,
I hate to see it.
You hate to see it. She fucking like vomits, which is like, oh shit, like that's actually like a reaction that like anxiety can like trigger like in someone. Like they're just like she's getting like PTSD and shit and like just vomiting, and it's just so it's really crazy. But I think it's interesting to hear everyone's theories. And I like where both Mark and Drew are going with their theories, because it's like you're both going in like diverging paths. But it's interesting to see that, like, because you're all new viewers, that you have such diverging paths with the theories. So it's
Except me.
Alec just doesn't have theories. That's
I
his
gave up.
divergent path right there.
I gave up. I'm like, oh, fuck it. We'll see where this
We're all
train
splitting
takes
up.
me.
Alex
Alec's just like,
I'm just gonna keep
take me on this ride.
We make a left turn. It's like those roller coaster rides where it's like, ring, ring, just change. I'm like, all right, here we go.
I don't expect
Woo!
anything. Just take me to the end.
Take me away.
Can't be surprised if you expect nothing.
Exactly.
That's true.
Like, yep, I saw that coming because I didn't see it coming.
Speaking of
brain.
expectations that you didn't see coming, what about Attack on Titan season 4? That was quite a first episode that came out of nowhere, right?
Good job, Mappa.
Yeah.
I thought Mappa did a good job with it. It's consistent with the art style of the previous seasons. It'll be interesting to see our main characters once they're animated, but I felt like the art style was like very consistent, very good. The music was super epic. I'm not gonna lie though, I kind of like, as I was watching, I was like kind of like remembering like the lore and things, and I'm like, how do they get Titan powers again? It's like, oh yeah, they get injected and then they got to eat the one, and so it was like I was like had a hard time like remembering like all the different things, because they dropped like all that knowledge on you in like 2 episodes, and then like the season ended and that was it.
They're like, okay, bye.
So I did watch a recap of the previous season, and that did help me to remember like all the like nitty gritty details and like the lore behind like the different like warring humanity sub factions on like the other continents and things like that. So if anybody else goes into these episodes like not remembering all that stuff, I would say it's okay to still watch this, but it was extremely helpful to go back and kind of get a little bit of a recap.
Yeah, I think that's a good advice, because around this time is like where I stopped reading the manga, because I knew that it was ending and the final seasons were going to be coming out. So it's like, I'm just going to watch it with you guys. So I have like, it's all like new to me.
Look at you.
Yeah.
So considerate.
I mean, but like one of the chapters like just came out recently, so I was like, wait, what? Maybe I should have just been reading it. Anyways, but it's like around this time, so like I don't quite remember what happened in the final season, so I don't know like how much I want to give you guys. But it's like everybody's pretty much on the same page at this point. It's like as long as you remember what sort of happened and what was told in the final season, the previous season, I should say, then. We're just getting more exposition at this point. So,
Mark, we talked about this before, but I wanted to ask you again. Like, when we were really down on this show, it was like season 2, and it was like just like kind of dragging out or whatever. And we talked about like the author like kind of like feeling the pressure of the success of the show. I feel like last season, and then even going into the season, just with this one episode, I feel like he kind of like brought it around, and just like the content that we're getting is just like so good. Do you feel the same way, or?
Yeah, it's noticeable, I think, because around that time when he took breaks is when I also stopped reading too, because it was like it sort of went into these slumps, and there was just hiatus after hiatus, and it was like a couple months went by where there was no chapters, and then like I get it, like a mangaka who has like been going for so long and like just increases in popularity, like there's a lot of pressure on you, so you feel that pressure, and I'm sure they wanted to take breaks, but yeah, that was also for me, like it was also the same thing. It's like kind of was unsure, like second season in like anime, like I was like, all right, this is getting good, but it still seems like it's dragging on. But I think he always sort of had an idea of where the story was going to go and like where the ending was supposed to take place, and I think that's I think that's what has helped him with the recent and like finishing the manga at least, and I think that's what's helping the anime is that like we know where the end is, and we know like how to get there, and I think the main thing now is like how to get there visually, and it's like like you said, like Mappa is absolutely knocking it out of the park, and I think that he has definitely stepped up within the last season. And from what I've heard, like from people who have read the final, like, like read up to the latest, I think that, people are like extremely happy with how it's going. So,
How to
he's
avoid
pulling
ramen episodes.
He's pulling Kakishigo to Rolando. He knows it's like coming to an end, and he's just going all out, for the end because he knows he's got to wrap it up.
You gotta wrap it up, dude. And then they're gonna say, "Hey, you're renewed," and he's like, "Oh fuck."
All right, let's go.
No.
5 more years, baby.
You're gonna pull a fucking.
I mean, it's getting to this point where it's like
Boruto.
you either go the way of Naruto or Boruto now, where it's like Kishimoto had to fucking come back and is like, I need to step in and take
fix
this
it
so bad.
story,
Fix
or
this
you
shit.
go the way of like Chainsaw Man, where right now like we're ending the final arc. Like I think this is
And it, like, barely
going to be a
started.
couple more chapters. Yeah, and it's only been a couple, like maybe like 100 something chapters.
We're
And it's like,
not
yeah,
even,
that's
haven't even reached 100 chapters. That's the thing.
yeah. It's like that's a fairly short manga, and I mean for how great it has been and how well received it's been. I think that's like a testament to like it doesn't necessarily take this like long running series to make a good series. And I don't know. It's like you have your your two sides of the coin, but then you have One Piece that's like amazing, and it's like 1,000 episodes, so 1,000 chapters.
And it's never ending.
That's an outlier.
never-
Not
gonna
everything has to be
Piece is
super
just-
long to be good.
Yeah.
Well, going back to like the
One Piece
episode
sucks.
itself,
I
like
know where
what?
it ended.
So I
Whoa.
guess Mark knows a little bit more than the rest of us, but Alec, Drew, what do you guys like? What did you take from this first episode of the final season?
Racism.
Racism, yeah,
That's been like a theme of the whole show, though, right?
it has.
It's interesting the dynamics of like the cursed people basically being used as like a military power to elevate one other group of people and things, and you kind of want to know like why are they playing into their hands, why are they subjugated to that, and we kind of learned a little bit last time with basically exiling like half of their people and stuff like that. So I don't know. There's a lot going on, but I think like the main theme of like racism was seen like pretty evident. I think the most prominent is like one of the kids saves one of the opposing soldiers, and the soldier's like, "Don't fucking touch me! Like you'll curse me."
Don't you
We're seeing that theme a lot. But yeah, and overall too, I wanted for second season aside from the show, because we talked that to death, but ever since then you just like kind of want to know more, and that's what I'm kind of waiting for, is just more lore, more why are we fighting this war, what's going to happen with the group behind the walls, what's going to happen in this new continent. It's just more, give me more.
Well, so I guess what do you think? How do you think this plays in to the rest of it? Is this before or after the
that's what I was
the
thinking
events of the previous
too.
seasons?
It's hard to say because they're trying to find the what's her name, Krista, is that
Founding Titan.
Yeah, and they found her. So this has to probably be happening before, based on like what they were saying. It's like they're scrambling to try to find the founding Titan, and in the events of the first 3 seasons, they found her, and it's the war between the insiders of Bertolt and Reiner, and the female Titan with Annie and stuff, like trying to get her. So I feel like this has to be happening before, but who knows?
But they did say like Reiner
Reiner did look older too, though.
looked older, and he mentioned more walls again. There's a flashback.
Yeah, more wall.
from when he was
Yeah,
in the
yeah, you're
Scouts.
right.
And then there
You're
was a
right.
whole thing where they talked about how they had lost the Colossal Titan and the Founding Titan previously, and that they lost
Right.
the war. So it's still a little bit odd to.
Yeah, maybe they like lost track of her, and so they're back doing something on the other continent. So it's hard to say, man.
It's fucking weird. Like I'm just so
It is weird.
confused.
And they just drop you right into it too.
Yeah.
Mark's
Yeah,
just
that's
like,
why I had to.
I don't want to.
That's why I had to go back and like watch, because I was like, I don't know how much I know. Like I don't remember anything, and I don't remember what everybody else is gonna know. I was like, I need to go and have I don't need to have a refill or a filler and catch myself up.
Recap, yeah.
All we know is that these Eldians and the Marleyans, they don't like each other, but they're in an alliance.
Yep.
I think it's just mainly it's just I think the only thing I could say is like just remember like the sides and like names. Like remember like whose name is like who is who, and remember like what the sides are.
And probably like who owns which Titan power. I think that's probably important.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, we know that the Titan that what's her name? Krista's bestie.
Ymir.
Yeah.
Ymir.
Isn't Ymir's Titan in like that guy's hands or whatever? Or is she just like a random like randomly evolved Titan?
No,
I don't.
7 of the.
Yeah, or nine, the nine hands
yeah.
or whatever. I don't think she was one, but maybe she was. I don't know.
Because like didn't she like accidentally eat one of like the like the 9?
Yeah, 'cause she was like in the desert, wasn't she?
Yeah.
And then she like woke up and was like human again.
It's fucking weird.
Who knows?
Who knows, man? Like, this show's
We'll find out more.
We'll find out. Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Speaking of segues that I don't have an answer for, let's move on to the Journey of Elena. So, Drew, your wish for a more than one episode story arc has been fulfilled.
I was happy because they were wrapping it up, and I'm like, all right, we'll go to the next one. And then we did a U-turn, and we remembered the box, and we're gonna go to the Curio crew, and
it's just gonna stop right there.
That's it.
They're never gonna
They're not gonna talk about it ever again.
Hang on, follow me.
This was another good episode though, because we got Fran and was it Sheila's background, and you kind of see like again, what's going to happen. They don't like each other, but they have some sort of event that brings them together. And it was done in a good way, because I think I like Fran and Sheila. They're interesting characters, and I care more about them than I do Elena. I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's like they're different enough, and like I care about like their backstory, whereas like I don't care about Elena that much. I felt more connection with those two than I have with Elena like the whole season. So.
Is it because they have like personalities?
I think so. Whereas like Elena just shows up and like goes with it. Whereas like Fran and Sheila are like different enough, and like you see their contrasting personalities, and they feed off of each other. Where I don't think Elena does that very well with the interactions that she has with other characters. Yeah, I think that's how I feel about it.
I think it's just because she's like the narrator, and I never really have any connection to the narrator. I don't know, because to me it's like from her perspective. Obviously not this story, but all the other ones are like from her perspective. So it just always feels like she's the narrator, and whoever cares about the narrator, just some guy talking in the background.
I feel like you should want to care about like the main character that the show is named after, though, and I just don't.
But she's like the main character.
Yeah, like I care about Elena. Like I like Elena as a character, but for some reason it just seemed like Fran and Sheila just had a more solid connection like to me. And I don't know, just like it seemed like I cared about them more like when they were younger, but then like now that they're older, it's like, oh man, like I hope they get to enjoy their vacation. I don't know, it's like a stupid idea, but it's like it just seems like
what a loser.
Random. It just seems like so random, right?
What do you think about Elena's mom, Nike, because we don't know.
That's her mom? No, just kidding.
Oh my God! Spoilers!
Wow!
Spoiler!
How dare you?
Can't believe you, Santa's little PogChamp, that you spoiled.
Yeah, my bad.
They
showed the house. We already had like inklings of that thought, like that theory had already popped up like episodes ago. So I was kind of like already used to the idea. I don't know.
No, but what do you think about the character?
Oh, the character?
Yes.
I don't know. I feel like I don't quite know her.
She's an enigma.
Fran kind of, I feel like, especially like the first couple episodes where Fran was sensei to Elena, she like took on the same sort of personality trait and role. And in that it's like kind of teaching them in like this weird way that doesn't make sense to the pupil, but in her wise mind, it's like this has to happen, otherwise, Elena's gonna end up being, total like conceited bitch. So it's like she took on, her like attributes as a teacher, and so they were like I saw them as very similar. Where Sheila didn't really get that. She kind of goes her own way. This like she reminded me of the Discord picture that Alec has from Fran Shushu. Sheila
Saki?
reminded her. Yeah, just like the way she talks is like she has like this like motorbike broom and stuff, and just like the accent and all that stuff. It reminded me of like in that like kind of personality.
Oh, Sheila.
And
Yeah.
I couldn't stop thinking about that.
I really like Sheila's character, and I'm glad they brought her back. But
yeah,
like in terms of like Elena's mother, I think that she and Elena have been shown to have basically the same personality and tendencies through the show. And so like for me, I feel like at least with this series, rather than an overall like overarching like development that's happening in the background, like in the show that shall not be named, with a certain Violet character development.
Violet Evergarden.
And a I'm gonna drink to that.
Just finish my beer.
And a like war going on in the background, like to tie everything together. Like Violet Evergarden like had a similar arc based progression, albeit they were more than one episode arcs at a time for the majority of it. And I feel like where this show stands, more of it is on how the characters' interactions and like their quirks, personalities, like the world building and like the consistencies with like the world building and like the character interactions are kind of what keep everything tied together. Because it's like what Alec brought up or basically for like the last few podcasts, which is it's like you're reading her diary and like you're just getting these snippets everywhere, but like you understand how everyone's personalities work out and like the settings of each place, because they're like told in like a way that like you understand like the world and you understand the characters, and that's what's kind of tying everything together rather than an overarching plot, which is what makes it more slice of life like, at least in my opinion, compared to something with an actual plot. And so if I feel like because character development and character arc are kind of tied together, and if you don't like a character, like in Drew's case, you don't really feel a connection to Elena. Mark, you care about the character, but like just something about like Sheila and Fran draw you more to them than Elena. Alec, you kind of don't feel a connection to the narrator, like in general. Like I feel like that's really what's probably drawing a lot of, not flack, but like it's drawing a lot of criticism, like at least that everyone has for the show. And if you don't pull in the viewer with like the title character and like convince them that like this like one main constant is what's supposed to make you care about it, I can see how like it falls flat at a lot of times. And so like I personally like, I like Elena, I like her character, but like if you I can see that if you don't like her character, a lot of this does fall flat.
I think the thing that like I had been thinking about for the past couple episodes, and maybe we'll probably touch on this again once the show wraps up, is like I think that the issue that I have sometimes is that I don't quite know what the intended like audience is supposed to be for this show. And I think that might be why we have such like fluctuating like opinions, because it's like some episodes it seems like very lighthearted and it seems like it's definitely for like a younger viewers, and then some episodes we get these like really heavy themes and like super serious topics, and then other episodes we're dealing with like flashbacks.
Oh,
Okay,
all right.
Did I leave?
everything's back.
Look at that! Look at that internet right there.
Yeah, everything's
Dealing with the flashbacks.
Yeah, some episodes we like deal with flashbacks and we deal with other characters that people maybe have different attachments to, and I feel like that might be where the show is sort of suffering from. It's like the intended viewership changes episode to episode.
I don't think it's ever intended to be for a younger audience.
I think it is.
After last episode, bro.
Maybe not the last one, but
Episode
before this,
3.
though.
Did you watch episode 3?
I don't know. It just seems, but it's like this young girl going on an adventure. Like, how is that not
She's-
like intended for?
she's 18 going on 19.
Possibly younger. Oh, I guess it's true. I don't
She's
know.
a young adult.
This
She's a
isn't
young
this isn't
adult.
Kiki's delivery service, dude. This is
It's Kiki's fantastic journey. That's what the show is.
With a lot of violence and some real dark
A
themes.
little bit, a lot of violence and possible
bit, a lot.
slavery. Just a tad, just a smidge of slavery. Just. But I don't know. Tell me, like, I don't know. Maybe we'll just throw it out there for right now. Like, is that something that you guys had thought about? Like, does it seem like the intended viewers of this show has changed episode to episode, or has it always been consistent?
I never saw it as like a
I never
little
saw it
kid
in that
show.
way. Yeah, I never
Yeah.
saw it as a little kid show either.
Okay. All right.
Alec?
Maybe.
Or- No, I said I think I agree. I never saw it as a kids show. It's always been consistent, kind of like
I
older
wouldn't say like a
themes.
kids show, but like it's not like an adult themed show like we're thinking about it. Like last episode, it seemed like it was for slightly younger, like early teens.
Early teens, like 18, 19. Like
What?
That's not early teens.
that's no. I'm saying like early teens. I was being sarcastic. Like early teens, like 18, 19, with everything going on in the show. Like,
Mid-teens, like
yeah.
a teenager. Let's just say a teenager.
I don't know. I think it's more older themed.
Yeah.
Personally.
Like I've always compared it to like the Grimm brothers fairy tales, you know, like they collected all these fairy tales and like from a bunch of cultures and communities in Europe, and they all have like these dark themes. So like I never really thought of the show as being intended for a younger audience, although albeit like a lot of those fairy tales were like being told to like younger people to warn them against, you know, always like dreaming big or whatever, because, you know, something may like there's something that happens that may poison you or whatever. And so I don't know. I just kind of feel like, at least in my opinion, I feel like the show has been consistent, at least with the world building and like the characters, that for me, like I haven't really had an issue too much with the show or like the way it's been put forward, but I can see why you guys have issues with it. So
I don't really have issues with the show. I think I tend to kind of argue my perspective just out of sheer devil's advocate. But I do enjoy kind of all the aspects of the show. And it's not that I don't like Elena. It's just I don't really feel like a connection to her. I'm like, wow, I really love this character and need her to succeed. I'm just like, okay, this is the main character. And she's kind of doing her thing. I don't dislike her, but I'm not like in love with her either. But she's an enjoyable character. I think I don't know.
Yeah.
It just comes different perspectives.
I think that's
Wow.
the thing that like also throws me off is like if I'm following this character around the world, I want to have some sort of attachment to this character, and I want to be there with them and like enjoy whatever new worlds that they're exploring because I like the character. And yeah, like the world building is also amazing and it's great, and when it's done well, like you really enjoy it. But if I don't have an attachment to the character, then all I'm left with is the world building, and if that suffers or if it lacks in any way, then I feel cheated because I feel
fair.
like I don't have anything.
Did you feel that attachment with Kino?
With Kino?
Yeah.
Yeah, like even though Kino didn't talk much or didn't get involved much, it's like Kino's character like right off the bat. Like she's just like this sort of straight shooter, like, I don't know, she's almost like a side NPC that you're just like, no, like I want to protect her because she, you know, is like alone with like on her bike, and she's just exploring the world because she is like, yeah, she's like a likable character, but she can also hold her own because she has, you know, she's explored a lot, and so she is able to take care of herself. So you're like, all right, yeah, like I want to explore this world with her, and, you know, experience different countries as they've been labeled, because I like the character. And then when she gets in trouble or whenever something like kind of crazy happens, you're like, holy crap, I hope she makes it out. But with Elena, it's like, well, she's gonna make it out, but I guess we'll see how it happens.
I think that's the important part, and that's kind of like what I was talking about earlier. So like, I personally, I like Elena's character. I understand her for what she is. She's a spoiled brat that knows what she wants and is very self-confident. And
as we see at the beginning of most episodes,
and it's been,
who's this beautiful girl?
It's been consistent, at least in my opinion. And I personally, I like the character and find like an endearment towards her character, despite how bratty and selfish she is. But that helps my experience, at least. So I think that is like, it plays a big part because that's one of the only aspects of the show that's consistent. It's like these characters have these like consistencies about them, and because that's all you get with like between the arcs, except for now we're getting more than one episode of an arc.
Woo! I do have to say, I think that's one thing that, like, the fact that we all have such different opinions is, at least to me, something that makes the show really good. Because in a lot of cases, you'll have a show and like the way you see it is the way everyone else is going to see it, because that's how the story is.
One-dimensional.
In this case, like, depending on, you know, whether you're attached to the character or if you view it more as like, I'm just reading this girl's journal and she's just like an unbiased observer, which is kind of how I feel about her, versus Kino, where it's more like you're seeing everything through Kino's lens. It feels more like an unbiased observer in this case. So it's just like, it's really cool that we can have these very different perspectives, and that makes the show, like, elevates it for me as a good piece of entertainment.
Yeah. No, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. All
I
right.
have so much echo in my room.
I like that little Kino's lens there, Alec.
Kino's lens.
Kino's
Nice.
lens. Yeah, that was a very meta joke.
Yeah,
Very meta reference there.
Peepo lens.
That Kino's lens, dude.
Peepo lens.
All right. Moving on from Elena.
That was, I don't know, that was next level.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Mark and I were both like, oh shit.
I was like, oh wow, I never thought about it that way.
But moving on from Journey of Elena, let's go into Kami-sama ni Natahi. So the day I became a god. So we've got the revelation. Drew, unfortunately, you weren't fully correct, but you were half.
I was close. The pop off won't be as big as it would have been, but
I was correct though.
It was
Oh yeah,
pretty
Mark
close.
was right.
That's all that
Not
matters.
Elena.
Elena's world is coming to an end.
Elena's world is ending.
So I don't know. This is just my personal opinion, but did you guys feel an emotional impact from
No.
this episode?
No.
Nope.
No, not at all.
Oh, it was like supposed
It's-
to be sad. He's like, I love you. I'm like, okay,
so
let's move on.
here's
frustrated.
here's the problem with the show, right? let me break it down for you. No.
June Maeda.
So here's the problem, at least that I have with the show, is Hina is, like Elena, not a very likable character in my opinion, and the show kind of wants you to have like this romantic investment between like Hina and Yota, and that's like obviously never going to happen. Even if it's like this like brotherly love like sort of thing, it's just like, it feels like so unnatural to me that it makes this episode like not matter, because you're like, oh, she's going away, that sucks. Darn. Her character doesn't have like a big enough impact on me as a viewer where I care about her, and that's bad, right? Because she's like the main, she's like the plot.
We're supposed to feel sad here.
She's
yeah.
like she's like what's supposed to be driving the show, and it's just like I don't care, and oh well.
And that's it. Yeah, I don't care.
They took her away. I feel like the dad, like she was gonna die, so I left.
Yeah.
That's the problem that I had too. It's like we had this previous episode with the dad, and it's like, yeah, like I kind of feel sad for her in that episode. But now that like she's actually going again, it's like, well, we kind of knew this was gonna happen. Like she can't live
the
forever.
The problem too is like she doesn't fight for it. Like she doesn't like fight to stay with Yota, and like she's just, and it doesn't make sense for her character to fight because she's like this. She has that computer in her brain. It's logical. She knows that I'm never going to escape, so why try to fight it?
Yeah.
But that like totally cheapens like the moment that they were trying to have, because you would think like maybe like her emotions would overcome the logic, and she would be like, I do actually want to stay with Yota because it's been like really fun hanging out with him and all like the goofy shit that we've been doing this summer. But she didn't. She's just like,
Yeah.
all right, I gotta go now. See ya.
Like the one or two episodes where she actually was like maybe developing into like having those feelings were like the festival and like the episode
Yep.
after.
Yep.
And then they just kind of ditched it. And you're just like,
And that's where I thought the show was gonna go, especially after the festival, because she's like sitting there, she's like, "Wow, he saved me! Like I have emotions, like this is important." And then, like you said, they totally just like got rid of that.
Peace.
Like we're not concentrating on that anymore. Like
Not important.
later.
Gotcha.
I just find her character annoying, like most of the time. And then we get this random episode, and it seems like he finds her annoying. And then we get this episode where he's like, "Oh man, she might be gone one day. I should find out more about her. Oh wow, I have so much fun." And then all of a sudden, he's like super attached to her. It just cheap.
It feels
fake.
weird, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it just feels
I think
sprung
There's
on
no
us.
development. It's just
none.
like, yeah,
And-
sprung on us.
Here you go.
Yeah, and let's
They're
like
friends.
let me like ask you guys, like, if this was, if as
No.
much as like I don't know how often we even say this, but like if this was drawn out in like 2 or 3 episodes, would you guys have felt differently?
See, that's the question I was actually going to ask. It's like,
Well,
because
I
we
asked it
talked,
first.
we talked about Clannad though. When we talked about Clannad,
Yeah.
we were talking about, well, we've seen shows like Charlotte where they did a lot of this character development in fewer episodes, although the end of it sucked. But Clannad felt way too drawn out. Do you think that maybe the show is one of the shows that needed to be drawn out longer?
Yeah.
no, because I still don't care about Hina.
No.
No.
Alright. That's-
I feel like it would have.
I feel like it would have, at least for me.
I think it would have been different.
Yeah.
She's not my favorite, but if they had taken the time to maybe build that connection with the viewer instead of just having her be this annoying child, then I'd have stronger feelings of her leaving
Yeah.
and getting taken away.
Yeah.
My problem is the whole thing that we were just talking about, like the emotional connection between the two characters, and they just like ditched that whole like concept. And if they would have gone with that and developed that more, I feel like it would have been like I would have been like all for it. But they didn't. They just like ditched it, and it's just like we're logic boys now.
Well, no,
Yeah, they needed-
see, that's the thing. Like,
Yeah.
this is exactly how Charlotte fucking drove it off a cliff. They had these characters that had like this development and emotion development, and then they're just like, hey, you know what? Well, let's make the main character this fucking dead, emotionless, fucking character that just like does all this shit. It is like, why? What? Why did you just throw away the previous like fucking 3/4 of the show? And that's basically what they did with the development they were putting in the last few episodes. They're just like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let's just fucking throw that away.
We don't
like
need
make
that shit.
Hina more human. That way, you feel bad for her losing those human, like losing her humanity, like
Yeah.
losing her life essentially. It's
Or
like,
even so you actually feel bad about the other people losing another person instead of like, oh look, he lost his little computer toy. He's gonna
Yeah.
have to find another quantum computer inside a girl's brain.
right? It's like sort of that, like, I don't know if it's like a trope or like a storyboard, like, you know, like how do you feel bad for a computer? It's like you make it feel human emotions, and then, like you have some sort of attachment to this computer where like you don't want to give it up because you feel this attachment to it. And then once, like, you know, this whatever AI or robot or android, whatever you will, like once it starts exhibiting those human emotions, then you feel bad because, like, at what point does it not become a computer or an android or whatever, an AI? Like, at what point does it become like an actual person? And like, because it has feelings. And then once you are like threatening to take that away, then you're conflicted. But in this, it's like, okay, well, Hina sort of had emotions, but Hina's
Like a
still been
dick.
annoying.
But
and
they
then
took
now
it
she's
away
gonna
like
be
before this episode, so
yeah,
you're just
but
like,
and then like now she's gone. It's like,
And then she was even more
now she's
like
gone.
robotic. Like, it's going to rain.
Right,
shall
right.
rain.
It's coming. Like,
Took
okay.
it
talk to
another
me.
step.
Okay.
I think like what they were trying to do with this show, they wanted to give it like this unique twist, and like the twist failed.
yeah.
And so now we're kind of stuck with like this like really kind
Jun
of like
Maeda.
we're stuck in like this really awkward spot where it's like, oh, that was the twist. Oh, that's what the rest of the show is gonna be.
Dude,
and it was like, it was kind of predictable too, right? Because like you know, Mark, I think you were right all along. You know, like we knew that the whole world wasn't gonna end. Like you know that
It doesn't
that
make
seemed, like,
sense.
pretty unlikely. And so now we're stuck with like this like weird twist of like, yeah, she's like a robot person or something, and cool.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks.
Cool.
gonna-
They put a supercomputer in her brain so that she could actually function. Nice.
it's gonna end up with some bullshit where she's like, I uploaded myself to the cloud and now I'm on your computer. Come hang out.
Oh my god, I can
Some
totally see
dumb
that
shit.
happening.
Yeah, right? Some fucking corny ending.
I hate you for saying that because now I'm like, yeah, that's totally gonna
God.
happen.
See,
Yeah, right?
it's funny.
So dumb.
So this
I hope
was
not.
episode 8 or 9.
Eight.
9. Right?
This is what we were fucking afraid of from Charlotte. It was
Absolutely.
like once it hits
Come
like
episode
episode
8 or 9.
8 or 9, like is it gonna fall off a cliff? And this is exactly what fucking happened.
Yep.
Well, sure,
do
that
I
happened
even
like 9 or 10, right?
watch it Do I even watch it going forward? It's like I don't even really want to watch it anymore. I don't really care.
I mean, I just like we're this far into it, we kind of have to see what happens, right?
Yeah.
A
little
but
bit.
It's like why?
Yeah, I don't know. The only redeeming thing, like the only like really great thing that happened this episode was like the hacking and like the like
gate?
being underwater,
I was about
hacking
to
to the
say
gate. That's the only
I
thing
hated
think
that.
of.
I hated that.
I didn't like it. I thought it was cool.
I thought
That
that
was
cool.
awful.
I thought that was
Yeah.
cool imagery.
Well,
I kind of like Hiroto's
I liked
character more than
Goldeen.
Hina.
Goldeen was really cool.
Yeah, same.
I hate his character.
His
He's just
character
like
got developed in one episode
Yeah.
more
Yeah,
than
and I
Hina
have-
has in this whole series.
Yeah, I felt more compassion for him and
but it was like it was like really like awful development. It's like, yeah, you were abused and you're like a super genius, and we were like supposed to feel sorry for you. I don't feel sorry for it.
Abused,
He's
get
a
over
slave.
it. Jesus.
He's a
I
slave
felt
to the
bad for him.
system.
Like
I felt bad for
Yeah.
him. And like despite all of that, he still tried to save Hina.
he tried to redeem himself.
Like he felt
Yeah.
bad about like what he did. He's like, oh shit, like I just did this
He's
thing
like,
and now
"There's
it's
blood
gonna
on
cause
my
this girl to
hands."
die.
again.
Yeah.
Eh.
Jude's like, fuck
She's
these
gonna have
characters.
League of Legends syndrome again.
Yeah, League of Legends syndrome.
League of Legends syndrome.
See, this is why, like, just as of late, I've been really wary about Maeda June shows. Like, why are we
Got my
like
hated
going
June
through
again.
like they always go through this great exposition and then it just falls off a cliff. Like there's
Yeah.
supposed to be some sort of emotional impact,
We-
and it's just like it's dying.
We had the warning signs though, right? Because we kept saying it like as the show is going on. It's like what are we actually like, watching? Like where is this show going?
Yeah, totally.
And it's building up to this like twist or like this to like build off this one premise. And like if the premise is bad, which in the show it is, you're just left with like this really awful
Yeah.
show.
Oh yeah.
I think like the thing that like it keeps popping in the back of my mind is like I think Maeda June came out and said like this is gonna be the saddest show that he's ever written. And,
Oh
like,
my
like the
God.
whole
What?
thread for the latest
Okay.
episode was like if this is a twist that he was expecting to be sad, this ain't it.
This
Like,
ain't it, yeah.
this isn't happening.
No.
Oh man.
This is a fat fail.
Yeah. Sorry.
Fail.
You put everyone's expectations up here
Approved.
because like everyone knows what to expect out
Proved
of
failure.
out of his stories, and then it's just like down here.
It's just poop.
Yeah.
I feel
There
bad.
was-
It's not good.
I feel bad for PA Works because it's like their animation quality has actually been pretty consistent
Yeah,
this
very
season,
good.
and they had to animate another bad show.
Yep.
Oops.
That's brutal.
PA Works
Pick
just
sho-
can't
pick
catch
shows
a break.
better.
They just can't catch a break, man.
writing scripts better.
Yeah, honestly. Maybe they should have read it all the way through.
God. I just feel.
So episode 9, right?
Yeah.
Like,
We're going to change this, right? Because this is trash garbage
let me get this right. She's got a supercomputer chip. Okay.
in her brain.
They're all talking
that's
about how like
keeping her
improbable
alive.
it is to have a fucking quantum computer like at a certain temperature. Like it's organic.
Well, and they even said it's working
studied-
at room temperature. Her body's not room temperature. Like, what?
Well, they were talking about like the super genius who did it, like the grandpa. He's like he studied, bioengineering and is a doctor,
Science.
but was also this god coder.
Yeah.
So like the greatest like mind in the whole world did this thing.
Yeah, he's
Got-
the one
got
that he's
it.
the one that became a god.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just a
That's
computer.
twist.
Oh my god.
That's the
I'm a
twist.
computer.
Hey kid.
Hey, good. I'm a
terrible show.
computer.
God.
Oh my
All
god.
right. Well, this show needs to stop over downloading.
What a shit show.
I think we should move on. We already
Yeah.
know it's a shit show, and
man.
it sucks. Sucks
But
for
it's
PA
funny.
Works, but whatever.
Shout out to PA Works for doing a good job animation
Yeah.
quality wise.
It had its moments. The show had
Yeah,
its
it did.
moments.
Had its moments.
Oh my god, is Hina actually alive? Nobody else can see her. That was
It's-
probably the best.
yeah,
moment.
that was good.
The best
That was good.
That and the mahjong episode,
Yeah.
like
The Mahjong episode was so fucking lit. Jesus.
That was
Yeah.
good. That was good.
Oh my gosh.
2 whole episodes out of 9 so far.
Infinite
Nice.
Riichi.
Oh man. All right. Moving on. Drew, did you see Rabbit Cafe?
I sure did. I look forward to it every week.
What did you think, dude? Rose came back.
Rose's back. It's like a running
Rose.
meme.
Mark doesn't know.
I don't know Rose yet.
You'll
Just
see
started
the second
season.
Second season.
Just started second season.
Yeah, it's more the same. We got kind of this cute idea of both Sharo and Chia getting thrust into their school's elections, and then both coming to the realization that like we just want to be friends. We don't want to like spend time away from each other, and that is just you love to see it.
Yeah, you love to see it, exactly.
You do love to see it. The strong Yuri friendships are strong and Yuri.
I really liked the second half of the episode though, where Rose comes
Yeah.
back and then Mocha comes back as well too.
Yeah, I honestly thought it was. I really like Mocha. I like all of Coco's sisters. So I was like hoping that it was actually her, but sadly mistaken. Got
This show
got
just
trolled.
just makes you smile every week.
Yeah. It's nothing substantial, but what it does very well, and it puts a smile on your face, and you want more, and it's coming to an end again. we need Kinero Mosaic next. We need
Season
that to
3?
get another season.
Season
yeah.
3?
I don't know if that one will though. I think Rabbit Cafe is more popular.
I mean, you never know.
You never know.
Never know. Mark, you're still on season 2 for Rabbit Cafe?
I am. I just started season 2.
You did?
Yeah.
What do you think so far?
It's good,
Thus
man.
far?
It's good. It's like I end up watching like 2 or 3 episodes, and then like because I finished season 1 last week, and I just watched first 2 episodes of season 2, and it's funny. It's cute.
Did you ever watch Kinero
Cute.
Mosaic?
I did not know.
All right, see. After this, you might want to watch and compare.
If you want more, if you're feeling your Rabbit Cafe void, that's a good one to fill that void with.
All right.
Fill the void.
It's
I know
similar.
you guys have mentioned
to
it
a point,
many
yeah.
times.
Well, Rize's voice actress is in Kinero Mosaic as well, but for the character that looks almost exactly like Rize.
Yeah, they're basically the same
Basically
character.
the same,
they're like Sundere.
One is flat and the other
Twin
one isn't.
Tails.
So yeah, Sundere Twin Tails. That is
Nice.
her trope, and she
All right.
plays that character in both shows.
Yeah.
Nice. I like Rize. I like she's a good
Rize
character.
is my favorite character.
Rize is my favorite character too. She's the best
She's funny.
one. Moving on. Not Alec. Well, Alec, how far are you from catching up on Haikyuu?
Probably like 10 episodes.
So you're
Maybe like 12.
So you're beginning season 4 then.
Yeah, I started season 4. I think.
Ooh.
I have to check.
The
All right.
first half
Let me
of
look.
season 4.
First half of season 4.
Yeah, first half. Like the stuff that aired before.
All right. Well, Fucking earmuffs, my boy. You got
Okay.
my little PogChamp. Earmuffs, my
tune you
little
guys
PogChamp.
Dude.
Mark, dude, this episode,
It is lit.
every episode, this second half
I'll go
of the
get
fourth
water.
season.
You drove
Dude.
him away.
We drove him away.
As
We
really
drove
did.
away our little
Boys.
PogChamp, but dude, this show is so fucking hype every week.
Yeah.
How does it
Yeah.
do it?
Dude, this episode is like another one that like again, it's like we had this conversation last week, and it's like the pacing of every episode is incredible, because it's like it has like its highs and lows, and it just does it so well, where like you get into the characters' heads, you get into like timeouts or whatever, and it's like this like lull in between these like really hype moments. And it's like every single one of these like really exciting moments is just so exciting, and you just can't help but like cheer. And it's like when like Tanaka hit that spike, and then
God.
it hit the
I
line.
fucking knew it too. I was just like, they're like, oh, they're expecting the cross. He's like, he's gonna.
Yeah.
He's like, Kageyama's like, please go further, go towards the antenna, and just like he's gonna hit the fucking line shot.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
God.
like, and it's like these things that like were like mentioned like early on in this season, you know, like episodes ago, and it's like it's all been leading up to like this moment, and like that happens so often in this show that you just can't feel like so satisfied when it works, or when it gets like when it happens, or in like the couple episodes like ago when like it doesn't work,
Yeah.
and you're just like
You're
oh,
just
fuck.
fucking distraught.
Yeah,
But it works
yeah,
this
yeah.
episode, and you're like, because like
Exactly.
like yeah, exactly what you're saying 2 episodes ago. You're just like, fuck, it didn't work out, and then this episode, like another similar sequence happens. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah,
is it gonna?
like you need that.
Yeah. Is it gonna fail again? They're at match point. Fuck, like they're gonna lose, and then it doesn't.
Dude.
You're like, oh fuck.
It's always like it has these like tensions, and it just holds on to them so well, and it just keeps it going. And man, the show just fucking
Dude.
so lit.
I've really come to love Kageyama's character through
Yeah.
like the whole national tournament.
Yeah, when he said no.
Kageyama's just been like really like one of my favorite characters. Like I already really liked Hinata, like and Tsukishima. Like those have been like my 2 favorite characters.
Yeah,
especially
yeah.
because like they're always like butting heads. But like Kageyama has like really like become one of my favorite characters, and like
Yeah.
he's grown so much, at least even in just this match.
Yeah, because you know, like early on, like early seasons, he's this unlikable character, and same thing with Tsukishima. Like, just to have a character that starts off that way, and then you just come to love them and see how important they are. It's really something. It's actually really impressive for
Yeah.
character development. Yeah, show
Alec?
is so good.
You need to
Show's so
catch
good.
up on the show. It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah,
I shall.
I know
One
you
day.
love your sports anime. This
I
is
do.
this is one of the one of the
sport
peak
anime.
sports anime out there.
Yeah, and I'll just get to binge it all once it's done. My favorite way to watch
Binge.
There's
sports
2 more
anime.
episodes left this season, so he's just waiting. He's like, I'm gonna binge everything.
I'm gonna just watch 20 episodes.
season 5 too.
One
I have a buddy who's like doing that for Attack on Titan. He's like, I can't wait week to week. I will literally die because I need to know what happens. So he's like, I'm just gonna wait till the end, so don't spoil me.
That's fair. That's fair.
It's a legit strategy.
Yeah.
Speaking of haiku, I,
I mean, like-
actually met somebody who said they tried watching, or they not tried, they watched all the way up until what had aired of season 4 or whatever, and they said they didn't like the entire show. It's like, so you spent 4 seasons watching the show, but you didn't like it? And they're like, yeah, it wasn't that, it was okay. I'm not a real big fan. I'm not going to continue watching it. I was like, okay, whatever floats your boat.
That's a lot of hours.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah, I was
right?
gonna
Like
say, that's
60
a lot of
episodes later?
hours.
Okay.
Hours wasted.
Jeez.
And
But I mean, hey, at least they gave it a shot.
yeah,
I mean, he's like, what, 16, I think.
Disagree
It's like
with
my
that.
friend's brother-in-law.
disagree with that opinion, but
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, you're entitled to
I
your
was-
opinion. You're wrong, but you're
it's wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah.
You're wrong. You're an idiot, but that's not, your fault.
All
Lady
right.
Gaga.
Well,
Born this way.
watch Haikyuu once again. Every week, watch Haikyuu. But I'm a little disappointed that it's going to be coming to an end in 2 episodes, and
Man.
it's not even going to be the end of the manga. So
No.
Oh,
This is so out of like there's like 200 something chapters. I think this was like chapter like
11
something.
oh god.
This is chapter 11.
This is chapter 12.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Don't do
Yeah.
this to me.
This is still the first match.
God.
We're still in like the
Sorry,
first
this
half
isn't
of
this
the
isn't
manga.
sake. Still going on the same fucking goddamn match for like
But I mean, like
5 years.
odds of it continuing are still pretty high. Like it's gonna keep going. I'm
Yeah.
sure.
It's very popular.
It's popular.
Yeah.
Man, all right. Well, I guess that wraps up tonight's episode. We got quite a bit.
Wrap it
And
up. Put it under the tree.
let's put it under the tree, just like what you got back there, Alec.
Yeah,
So
little Zelda guy.
let's wrap this show up.
Nendoroid.
Once again, Thursday nights in our Discord, in the cord, as Alec would put it. We've got High School
strong-
DxD. We're watching episodes. Fuck, I didn't put what episodes we're on. What are we on?
7 and 8.
7, 8?
7 and 8. 7 and 8.
Seven
Yeah, I
and
think
eight?
7 and 8.
High School DxD, episode 7 and 8 in our
Probably.
Discord. Please join us. If you want our Discord, go to animeondraft.com/Discord. You will be given our Discord link. And then everything else on our website, animeondraft.com, you'll find our podcast, links to previous episodes, current episodes, as well as all of our socials will be on there. And yeah, if you want to watch DxD with us, please join us. You get some Boosto, some 5D chess. You might say 5 double D or whatever, like
That's right.
fucking high school double D is maybe you would put it. But
Not DXD.
yeah, high school double D.
D times D.
D
There's
times
boobs
D.
in this show.
There's boobs.
D squared.
And they're big. But yes, please
That's
join
the
our
show,
Discord
the whole premise.
if you want to join us. We are doing Thursdays 8 p.m. Pacific time, and yeah, please do come. But our Twitter, Anime on Draft, or at Anime on Draft, our Instagram, Anime on Draft Podcast, YouTube, Anime on Draft. You name it, go on a podcast service of your choice. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher. Just search for Anime on Draft, and you will find our current episodes.
You name it, they got us.
You name it, it's called Anime on Draft, and they got us. And yeah, if you are watching us live, twitch.tv/Anime on Draft, thank you for being a part of the chat. We like to see the regulars show up every week, and any new viewers, feel free to chat with us. But if you are an audio only listener, thank you for
Audio-only.
sticking with us.
Audio demons.
And if you could, please give us a 5-star review on your podcast service of choice. It gives us great visibility on each platform, and we might even read your review on our show. So, I think that about wraps up this week's episode of the AOD podcast.
By 8 of June.
What?
don't you fucking
Don't you touch me.
Don't you fucking touch me.
My little PogChamp. All
My
right.
little Santa's little PogChamps.
All right. That wraps up tonight's episode, guys.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Gutex.